Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm King Sway, and today we're reacting to Mortal Kombat, the 2021 film on Kill Count from Dead Meat. I actually saw the movie. I saw it with my kids. We were at home. I loved it. I'm a martial artist myself. I'm a martial arts fan. I like action flicks. So anything where it's hand to hand and everything's going, I'm all for it. Uh, Without further ado, let's jump into this.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we
Scorpion.
tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies.
Sub-Zero's
I'm
better.
James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Mortal Kombat, the reboot released in 2021. I'm pumped to cover this movie because y'all know I'm
Jimmy
an
Olsen.
MK Ultra fan. That is, an Ultra fan of MK, not a fan of MK Ultra. I've played the game since an early age when they were somehow not as impossibly hard for me. No, fuck. Earlier this year, I covered the 90s movies, and while the first is fun enough, the second is an abomination, and neither are my particular style in terms of aesthetic or humor. Conversely, this modern adaptation is my shit. Listen, I know it's got a lot of problems. The structure's a mess, and the Arcana thing feels like an unnecessary over-explanation. Plus, spoiler alert, they never get to the tournament. Mortal Kombat's about a tournament. They spend the whole movie talking about a tournament.
Tournament.
And yet, they never get to the goddamn tournament. It's dumb. But this
Shang
movie's
Tsung's
dumb in
cheating.
a way I really enjoy. It's aware of its campy source material, but still plays things seriously enough to have an impact. Who the fuck isn't about to cheer when Scorpion says, "That's friggin' awesome." Most everyone who made this movie was a fan of the games and wanted to do them justice. Among them was Australian director Simon McQuoid, who kept things going during the 12-week shoot in and around Adelaide, South Australia. Ultimately, this feels like a setup to a Mortal Kombat movie series, and if you keep that in mind, it should help you have a good time. And I think it's still fun, even if
He's
you
cheating.
don't know
He has a
any of the
weapon.
lore. For fans of the franchise, though, it's even better, thanks to tons of little inside jokes that I'll be pointing out during this episode. I
Johnny
know
Cage.
plenty of people shat on this movie, and that's fine. I mean, it's not great, but I had a blast watching
I liked it.
and maybe you will too. And besides, y'all, just like the games, this thing is gory as fuck. Cue the sponsor talk. With Raycon earbuds, you can enjoy amazing audio quality wherever you are and no matter what you're doing. They fit snug inside your ear holes, so they'll stay put, even if you're fighting to save Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat! I use my Raycons to listen to podcasts and music while I'm doing chores. Lately, I've been using
I just noticed the
them while
toasty
making
thing in the
leaves,
background.
listening to the new Limp Bizkit album. Yeah!
They have a new
Raycons
album?
are available in 5 stylish colors, so you can get them as gifts for everybody this holiday season.
Okay.
They start at half the price of other premium audio brands, so they won't break the bank. And with free shipping and returns, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Get 15% off your order today by using the promo code HOLIDAY. Just go to buyraycon.com/deadmeat and use code HOLIDAY to get 15% off. The 90s movies had bloodless kills owing to their PG-13 ratings. This movie
remember
almost
that.
got an NC-17, and I'll show you why. Let's get to the kills.
I love this one.
The movie begins in Japan in 1617 at the compound of Hanzo Hasashi. Hanzo is a ninja of the Shirai Ryu clan, but he's also a family man and confirmed wife guy. Now that's nice. While he's out getting water, though, his compound is attacked. The first victim is cut down, or up, on the other side of this wall. Hanzo's wife and son hide their family's baby girl before they're found by Bi-Han, a Chinese ninja of a rival clan.
Y'all ain't going nowhere.
He is not only a mean man,
I
he
watched
also has
the
ice
raid,
powers,
the
because
first
this
one.
is
I actually watched the
original
first and the second one.
Sub-Zero,
My wife didn't like the
motherfuckers.
second
When
one.
Hanzo comes back, he's shocked to find a random ninja friend dead with a spear in his back. Actually, he's a bit more concerned with his wife and son's frozen bodies that he finds outside the compound.
That's that bullshit.
Sitting there looking like a prize-winning ice sculpture. This leaves Hanzo understandably pissed, and he takes it out on the 4 Lin Kuei ninjas who attack him. He fucks them up real bad, and the movie doesn't hide from the gruesomeness of blade kills. By the way, this group of kills also includes 2 of Hanzo's men seen in the background. Hanzo grabs a kunai his wife had been using for guarding
Tetsugen.
and a long rope to fasten together his signature weapon, a harpoon that he uses to kill the next wave of ninjas. It's
Tetsugen.
choreographed pretty clearly, which makes my job a whole lot easier. I counted 9 victims total during this attack, the last one getting clotheslined to the ground. Haha, get wrecked. Hanzo finds Bi-Han, and though he doesn't speak his language, both of them are fully fluent in kick-assery. They have an awesome fight.
Ain't nothing to say. You killed my wife and kids.
Which makes its way into and across both of their bodies at various various points. Bi-Han eventually overpowers his foe and sticks the spear tip into Hanzo's shoulder. He's so confident that it's enough to kill Hanzo that Bi-Han walks away like fuck it, looking like Jason in part 3. Hanzo's still alive enough to crawl past an extra body we didn't see before, but then he stretches out his arm and dies closer to his compound. Good thing he didn't make it inside. He might have burned the damn thing down with that fire magic. A thunder god named Raiden arrives, eyes all a-glowing, and finds the hidden heir of Hanzo Hasashi. It's time for that baby to take a lightning trick, and time for us to take a look at this title card with a K. Some text spells out our situation. Earthrealm, that's us, is one fighting tournament away from being taken over by the violent dimension known as Outworld. But again, don't hold your breath waiting for the tournament. Right now, we have to introduce
Shang Tsung was
Hanzo
cheating.
Hasashi's descendant Cole Young, a movie-only character played by Louis Tan, created to be an audience surrogate of sorts. I know lots of people, myself included, weren't thrilled about the inclusion of a non-game new character. There's only one of those, I'll stand. My boy Art Lean, rest in peace, buddy! But don't blame co-writer Greg Russo, a lifelong fan of the games. He said Cole Young was a studio demand that came straight from Warner Brothers. Cole's a cage fighter with a loving wife Allison and daughter Emily, but their love doesn't keep him from getting his ass kicked. He's always losing his bouts, despite Emily's solid advice. The uppercut is a big damage move in the games, especially in the first few before combos were more of a thing. Cole is beaten bloody, but seems like he still has fans, like this handsome stranger.
Cole Young, the man that took the belt from Eddie Tobias.
That name is a reference
Noob
to the
and
men
Tobias.
who made Mortal Kombat. Ed
Noob
Boon and
Saibot.
Don Tobias,
I said
who were working
Noob.
at Midway
Boon and
Games in
Tobias.
the early 90s. This
Noob
is Jax
Saibot.
and his giant arms, and he's very
Spoiler,
asking
the first
Cole about his
Sub-Zero
dragon
by Han
arm.
becomes
He's had it since birth. It was also seen
Noob
on Hanzo
Saibot.
during his fateful trip to the watering hole. Jax keeps an eye on Cole as he and his family go for ice cream. Oh, and check it. This ice cream place must have experiential marketing, because it's snowing all of a sudden. It's more than snowing, actually. It's a full-on deep freeze here. And look who it is making things frosty. Beyond the
Sub-Zero.
Beetle is back as Sub-Zero.
He was a
hard and
problem.
killing one dude in the head, which I'll say kills it. This ice attack is awesome, since it was done practically. The effects team experimented with the best materials that would look and break like real ice, and devoted a whole warehouse to making enough of it. Special effects supervisor Peter Stubbs even built an ice gun to make the hail rain down. Jax rolls up to save Cole and his family, and while driving them to safety, tells Cole what's going on. That scary blue ninja is hunting both of them down, since they both have those dragon markings on their bodies.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Before he can explain too
Chosen
much,
for what?
Sub-Zero blocks their path.
To
So Jax tells
protect
Cole to find a
Earthrealm.
woman named Sonya Blade while he tries to take care of the Iceman. The fight between Jax and Sub-Zero is preceded by some Easter egg graffiti, the controller input to perform Sub-Zero's freeze attack. Subby shows up.
I didn't notice that
gives us a
before.
look at Jax's muscles in action, but despite their impressive girth, he gets his ass kicked by Sub-Zero. I mean, the guy.
How you
does
gonna
have
fight
nice
a
powers.
centuries-old
Nothing to be ashamed
ninja
of,
with
Jax.
superpowers?
Subby uses his powers to force Jax into submission, then freezes him from hands to shoulders. With a painful shattering, Jax loses his Second Amendment rights. That's really gonna suck when you can't catch yourself during a fall. Damn, that looked painful. Subby, you mean. As we've seen, Bi-Han has been a bad guy for centuries, but nowadays he's working for the desolate, hostile Outworld. He's hunting down people with dragon markings on behalf of a sorcerer named Shang Tsung, played here by Chin Han, who has the unfortunate job of stepping into the massive shoes left by Carrie
You ain't going yet, no. For one, people normally almost always like the first dude playing
Don't worry,
it.
Shaggy, you've got time. Cole drops
But-
off Emily and Allison somewhere safe and heads to Gary,
Yeah.
Indiana to meet Sonya
Dude
Blade. He gets
did
to
his
her
thing
shitty
in Shang
trailer and
Tsung.
shows her a shitty
The
partner,
first guy.
earning her trust and a dollop of
So
back.
well, they brought him
Sonya
back
and Jax
to be the
serve
voice of
together
Shang Tsung in the
US
video
Special
games.
Forces. But lately, they've been researching those dragon markings. On a mission years ago, they found a target with the marking who had superhuman abilities. When Jax killed the target, the marking transferred to his body. As best they could tell, the marking has to do with some kind of legendary inter-realm fighting tournament.
It's an invitation to fight for something known as Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat! And yeah, this scene is one big ol' exposition dump, but at least it includes Easter eggs for Mortal Kombat fans. Peep that picture of Nightwolf, one of my favorite characters, or that bust of Kotal Kahn, the future former leader of Outworld.
Yeah.
There may be more Easter eggs hidden here too. Sonya's wall of intel became a full-time job for the art department.
We knew
Because they
that
got-
if the camera went across it, it would be freeze-framed and red. So everything had to be accurate
Yeah.
and everything had to be right.
Bruh.
But enough of those cameos.
I'm a
Let's
Body
get another
Vija
character
fan.
in the mix, the Australian criminal
They-
Kano.
Kano what?
Dude does it. They freeze frame stuff like that all the time.
Last name. Kano is a ruthless mercenary who works for the Black Dragon clan. Sonya's holding him captive because he has a dragon marking. Just like Jax, Kano's marking appeared after he killed someone else who had it.
You were never chosen.
Of course, neither was Sonya. She doesn't even have a marking. All of a sudden, they start getting an invisible beatdown thanks to a camouflaged foe. It steps on Kano's face and scars it with a nasty slash, then slinks around in the rafters, dripping acid from its mouth.
I remember
this
that.
is Syzoth, aka Reptile, an MK mainstay who's had invisibility since he was a hidden character in the first game. I love how they use a flare in this fight to keep track of it. Reptile's character evolved from a green palette swap ninja to being a member of the reptilian species known as Saurians. Since director Simon McQuoid wanted to draw from all of Mortal Kombat's lore, he made his movie's version both quadrupedal and bipedal. The 3-on-1 handicap match eventually ends when Kano punches into Reptile's chest and screaming removes his heart.
Kano wins. You fucking beauty.
Josh Lawson is so damn entertaining as Kano, and many of his lines were improvised. Not sure which ones though. Sonya wants to go to Raiden's temple, where champions train for Mortal Kombat, and Kano knows where it is since he used to run weapons there. He takes them there on a cargo plane that they have to parachute out of. Then they begin the long trek with Kano as their guide. He says he knows where they're going, but that dude lives in a house of lies. Since he's such a dick, it's a good thing they get additional help in the form of this Karate Kid. It's Liu frickin' Kang, and he's got frickin' fireballs.
Does that mean I'm gonna get superpowers at any point?
Liu Kang's a Shaolin monk from the Order of Light, another Earthrealm champion in the employment of Lord Raiden. He's played by Ludi Lin, previously a Power Ranger, and
That I
another
didn't
fighting
know,
game
yeah.
character in an episode of Black Mirror.
I
Liu
didn't-
leads them
I
across
gotta
the
look that up
desert
after this
expanse
is done.
until they arrive at Raiden's temple. Both of the previous Mortal Kombat films had
Wasn't a fan
awesome
of the new,
on-location shoots,
Power
and I'm
Rangers
glad
movie. Me
this
and my wife and
installment
kids watched
continues
it.
that tradition, now with more sweeping cinematography. Location supervisor Jacob McIntyre scouted epic landscapes throughout Australia. Sometimes they needed to modify things, like with Hanzo's lush Japan set compound. There, they added fake moss and greenery to Mount Crawford's pine forest an hour away from Adelaide. For Raiden's temple, though, filmed at an empty opal mine called Cooper Pedy, they didn't have to do anything, though it had never been
I like to
filmed
work as a
before, it was
stuntman
already
on something
screen
like that.
ready. Lou's hand lantern and a secret door gains them entrance inside the temple, where murals depict previous tournaments and give us more Easter eggs. One of them shows the realm named Edenia, and another
Edenia,
Shao
it's
Kahn,
Outworld
the
now.
hammer-wielding emperor of Outworld. And yeah, Cole, that one's got your grandpappy in it. Explains all those weird dreams you've been having lately. Besides the murals, which look really cool in real life, Raiden's temple includes other Easter eggs,
Tiger.
such as the steel fans of Princess Katana and Shinnok's amulet, an important item in the game's storyline.
Yeah, 'cause they
Liu
use it to
Kang
kill
introduces
gods.
everyone to Lightning Daddy Raiden, who says they're pretty shithouse champions, especially you, Kano. Raiden's played by Tadanobu Asano in a performance that I know disappointed a lot of people.
One more victory, and Outward will gain control over Earth forever.
I think it's fine, but I was expecting more given Asano's electric performance in Ichi the Killer. I wonder if he just took this role because he's a fan of hats. It may not bristle me as much as Christopher Lambert's Weasley depiction, but I was hoping for more of the forcefulness we get from the video game version.
Our time has run out. I do what I must to save Earthrealm.
Raiden's worried about this scrappy band of misfits because Shang Tsung is a real son of a bitch. Not only does the sorcerer have Sub-Zero on his side, he's got this shorty with a monster mouth named Melina. Outworld may be a bit barren, but it's still dazzling thanks to them shooting at Lee Creek Coal Mine. Director McQuoid hauled his cast and crew there 6 hours away from Adelaide, correctly thinking that the on-location shoot would add to the performances
6
and
hours.
epicness. Sub-Zero ice forces his way inside Raiden's temple. The baddies are here to wreck the place and give Shang Tsung some
He had to like
spiritual nom-noms.
shoot that shit between the cracks and just like
Dude eats souls. Raiden
water
shows
bend
up
that
and tells
shit.
Shang
He's like,
Tsung
oh yeah,
to fuck off, please.
makeshift earth
They'll
bending.
fight at the tournament and not before it, even if it doesn't happen in this movie. He puts up a lightning shield.
Cause
with his
Shang
power
Tsung
rings,
cheats.
and that's
He's
enough
been
to
killing
push
the
plot
fucking
back a
the
little while longer. The movie
Earthrealm
starts
Guardians
training
before the
with
tournament
Liu Kang
starts,
and his
so there
cousin,
won't have to be any
professional
Earthrealm
athlete
Guardians.
Kung Lao.
So they win by default.
Great Kung Lao.
Kung Lao's ancestor was shown in one of those murals, defeating Shang Tsung, which prevented an earlier Earthrealm takeover attempt. Liu and Kung Lao have unlocked their arcanas, this movie's invention that explains why everyone has superpowers. They did so by training, aka leveling up, but it's not just about the grind. You also need a dragon marking equipped. So, sorry Sonya, no superpower for you.
Fucking whoops.
The marked boys get to fighting, which as always in this movie is a treat to watch. It's impressive how actor Max Huang matches the spinny fluid style of video game Kung Lao. He says it was the Chinese martial arts style Wing Chun. Huang was a real-life fan of the games, as were many other
I don't
cast
use
and
Wing
crew
Chun, I
members.
use Muay
Jackson's
Thai.
actor Mehcad Brooks said that as a kid, he was Scorpion for Halloween.
This is still a big deal to me.
I love that the actors cared about the franchise as much as writer Russo and director McCoy. This doesn't feel like it was just another job for them. They seem to know the importance of portraying these characters properly for fans of the franchise. Melina's actor Sissy Stringer got a 2,000-word fan essay about her character's backstory so she could go into the role fully prepared. The training sequence includes a reference to a common play style in the original game, spamming the leg sweep.
The only move you know, mate. Ah! Oh, fuck.
Go
Another
Power
game
Ranger.
reference is mentioned while Liu Kang tells Cole Young his backstory. He mentions Bo Rai Cho, the man who trained him in Kung Lao, and who in the games early on was a guy who burped and farted a lot. It was dumb. Since she can't train with the marked boys, Sonya instead hangs out with Jax, who's being treated in the temple after Liu Kang found him alive but, you know, armless. Now he's rocking these mechanical limbs, which aren't exactly a one-to-one replacement for his previously bulging biceps.
Oh, those are great,
Yeah.
mate. They make those in men's sizes?
Kano goes on a supper-time tirade of personal insults and mild racism, and that anger unlocks his arcana, which blasts forth from his eye.
Ah, laser beam! Better than fireballs, you pussy!
No matter how much they beat up Cole, though, the kid just can't find his power. Must be extra disappointing after he finds out he's the descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, a legendary warrior murdered by Sub-Zero. Since Cole won't shut up about how much he misses his family, Raiden opens a
You
lightning
leave a man
bolt and sends the guy
missing his
home.
family
Cheaper
alone.
than ride shares, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Allison, you hugged that frugal husband. Here, let's meet some more Mortal Kombat characters. Freaking Cabal, one of my faves, and two characters I was unfamiliar with, Reiko and Natara, who Shang Tsung keeps saying is hot.
She is beautiful.
In every single
That's only because she's
way.
clapping
There's also
cheeks.
the still unseen Shokan warrior Prince Goro, who was earlier teased in one of those murals. Shang Tsung says they all about to beat up some Earthrealmers, and to get to them, they'll lean on Cabal's networking skills.
You see a guy down there? Complete fucking asshole. Answers to Kano.
Cabal knows Kano through the Black Dragon Syndicate, and in fact, Kano's the reason Cabal's all Darth Vaderized. Through a profanity-ridden back and forth, Cabal convinces Kano to join the bad guys.
Just name your price, then double it again. What are you waiting for, asshole?
Kano agrees and destroys Raiden's
Oh, that's all I need?
with his laser
Shoot.
eye, allowing Shang Tsung to hotbox the place with evil smoke that transports him and his henchpeople there. Fighting promptly ensues. Liu Kang goes up against Cabal's superhuman speed and hook weapons. Reiko takes his boom hammer
Chinese
to
hook
Jax and his
swords.
rough draft arms, and the ladies square up, with
Then
Sonya
again,
having
he's
to
not
defend
much for
herself
martial
against
arts,
Melina's
so.
pair of sides. Melina gets the best of Sonya and even gets a little bit kinky with it, but since Sonya's blood doesn't have that dragon marking spice to it, Melina says she's not worthy.
Your death has no worth.
Purple teleport away! Kano picks up the slack and puts Sonya down by laser beaming a giant hand onto her body, which is probably its own category on Pornhub. As Cabal gets the best of Liu Kang, Shang Tsung tells his hottie hot vampire girlfriend to fight Kung Lao.
Now destroy him, my beauty.
That doesn't go great for Natara.
That reminds
Kung Lao
me to do a
severs
video
himself
about
and
something
rips
I
up
saw.
his chakram half and rides Natara into it so she gets freaking buzzsawed. Yeah!
Flawless victory.
Fuck yeah, it was, dude. That was sick. During all this fighting, Cole gets a home visit from Prince Goro, who for whatever reason comes out of his shed. This Goro looks pretty good for a giant CG beast, although I missed the clunky animatronic created by Tom Woodruff at ADI. It wasn't great, but I can't help thinking how good a modern-day practical Goro could look. Just think of Neil Scanlon's work in Jurassic World Fallen
I'm
Kingdom.
sorry,
Imagine a Goro
I'll
of
fight
that
pretty much
caliber.
anybody
Instead,
out
we
there
get a
any day,
digital
anytime.
version,
You know,
which was
it's
done with two dudes in blue screen suits.
I'm not
Back
dealing
on
with
stills,
somebody
so
with
they could
4
choreograph a
arms.
fight properly using the
Eugene!
character's 4 arms. Props
Even
to
if you're
VFX
born like that,
supervisor Chris
Eugene!
Godfrey for all the solid CG. I did not realize that Jax's entire chest had blue screen effects going on. It looks great, much better than his annihilation bullshit.
I like-
That was
you know,
much
shut-
involved
I
in
like that.
turning
Shut up.
Goro's attention to her and Emily, and you do not want
I
that
could've
guy's
used these
attention.
babies back in
With
high
his
school.
family in danger, Cole finally finds his arcana. It's a suit of armor that comes out of a bracelet Emily had made for him earlier, and because of that, it looks like golden thread. It also looks bad, in my opinion. Kind of cheap, perhaps a product of this movie's budget. $55 million isn't exactly an indie movie, but it's not a huge blockbuster budget either. I
You know what I
every
could do with
dollar
55
wound up
million?
on the screen, but they might not have had enough to make all the costumes great. Regardless, costume designer Cappy Ireland put a lot of thought into all of the outfits.
I
Shang
see.
Tsung is rocking ancient Chinese armor, for instance, with the souls he's stolen imprinted on it. I like that they changed Raiden's hat from straw to metal, and apparently on Cabal's costume, he's got a police badge punch from his buddy Stryker, another game character who hasn't yet made it to the big screen. Cole's armor is part of his arcana,
Technically.
which is also kind of lame. I guess it's a kinetic thing where he can absorb blows and turn them into strength or something.
Yeah.
He uses this newfound
You absorb the
advantage
kinetics
to
and
go on
then
the
you
offense
store it and
against
then you
Prince Goro.
give it
Fares
back.
much better in the second round.
He's
of
just a
Survivor,
horror movie
especially
guy.
with
Just-
that uppercut.
because
He
my son and I
materializes a pair of golden tonfa, and with
knew
those,
what
he
that
really
was the
lays
second
into
we
his
saw it.
four-armed foe. Well, four-armed and three-handed. With his tonfa, Cole delivers some gnarly slashes and stabs that finally puts the Prince of Shokan down. It sucks that we only got a few minutes of Goro, but at least he went out with some gore, yo. At Raiden's temple, Jax finds Sonya being crushed to death. The care he has for his comrade unlocks his arcana, a pair of metal arms that look a lot
power
more
of
like his video
friendship.
game ones. It
Even
does
in
beg
Mortal
the
Kombat.
question, though. What would his arcana have been if he had never lost his arms? Man, the arcana thing is dumb. Raiden begins a tactical retreat, but Kung Lao gets caught by Shang Tsung. Kung Lao is killed by Shang Tsung when the sorcerer sucks out his soul. In some circles, they call that a soul slurp. You know, like a turkey slurpee. Raiden teleports his champions to an inter-realm location called the Void. Even Cole, who takes a lightning portal from his front yard.
Baby, I gotta go save the world. I promise I'll be right back though. I mean, I know we've been on some weird shit lately, but I'll be back.
As long as they fight them on their terms. That means pairing everyone off at different locations. But how can they do that?
Lord Raiden, can you send anyone anywhere?
Oh, okay. That was easy. The fights take place simultaneously, but it's easier to go through them one by one. So, the first bout takes place in the pit, an infamous Mortal Kombat stage that's been in many of the games. There, Jax fights Reiko and his hammer. The new and
Strength
improved
versus
arms
strength.
prove to make it a much more even match.
Yeah,
and
now it
Jax
was good.
does things pretty quickly.
Biatch.
He jumps and claps Reiko's skull into smithereens. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, these motherfuckers work.
This fight is probably my favorite.
I remember that scene.
Since it takes place in close quarters.
Yeah, I'm fanboying right now. I'm fanboying right now.
Which he's outfitted with
I thought this was dumb. How the hell you gonna have a trailer set up to be like, but then you out in the middle of nowhere, you got time for construction? That's, I mean, I'm not saying it's a viable thing, but still.
BuzzFeed list out of that. The fight spills outside through the bathroom window, where Sonya ends things by stabbing Kano in the eye with a garden gnome. With that kill, the dragon marking passes from his body to hers. The Arcana is still a dumb thing, but I'm happy for you, Sonya. Next is Liu Kang facing off against Cabal in a rematch, like this were a Raw the night after a pay-per-view. Liu's more prepared for Cabal's speed this time, and even hits him with a bicycle kick, one of the most satisfying moves to land in the game, partly because of the ridiculous sound effect.
What I'm telling
The kick traps Cabal in a pit of some sorts, and now Liu
Burn
Kang
it.
is ready to murk it.
'Cause it looks
He
like
summons
tar
a giant fire
or
dragon
oil.
that swoops in and engulfs Cabal, getting things all sorts of toasty.
Oh, they on 29 deaths
Cabal
already,
falls
shit.
to his knees, a crispy burnt boy. I love how much this death matches the game fatality, too. Finally, we have Cole fighting Melina, who keeps up the purple teleportation. Teleportation? She ends up getting so mad that she screams the corners
She's
of her
forgotten.
mouth open, showing us the extent of her sharp teeth and making her look more like her video game self. That's a problem for Cole, but thankfully for him, Sonya shows up with her new arcana. It's her pink energy bracelets that she
No.
launches straight through Melina's torso. Wait, why
No
did the
BJs from
ring
her,
sever her
'cause
spinal
you can't say
know
no
what?
teeth.
Fuck it. It's fine. These last two
That's
bouts
all
were
you
filmed
getting.
at the Black Hill Granite Quarry, 2 hours outside of Adelaide. Keeping with McQuote's desire to have as many things as practical as possible, the actors fought in front of real fire being piped in through copper fixtures. Cabal's death was a huge fire stunt performed by his physical actor, stuntman Daniel Nelson. Cabal's voice, on the other hand, was provided by Damon Harriman, the guy who played Charles Manson in both Mindhunter and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. With the other evil henchmen defeated, all that's left is Sub-Zero, who's such a horror villain, he's showing up in jump scares at Cole's family's safe house. He appears to the Earthrealm champions and indicates that he's been up to some daughter napping. That lures Cole to follow him solo straight into the Badlands.
That-
It's actually
yeah, I was about to
Cole's
say that,
game
you already
of
know.
that, where his story began. But now it's covered in ice, courtesy of production designer Naaman Marshall. He built a dip tank to cover all the set pieces in their fake ice material, then painted more on for good measure. It was so effective, the actors said they felt cold on set. With the fate of his frozen family at stake, Cole begins his fight against Bi-Han, who immediately neutralizes his Tonfa and kicks his ass 7 ways to Sunday. The descendant of Hanzo Hasashi
There's no kinetics
fights
in
back,
freezing.
bleeds all over the garden spear. And
How
that
you
triggers
bleeding?
a
You got armor.
resurrection. Hanzo, who returns from the Netherrealm as Scorpion.
Get over here.
Thus begins what's probably the most kick-ass fight of this movie.
Yeah, they
One-on-one
beat him
battle
down.
Between fan favorites Sub-Zero and Scorpion. This is such a better use of these characters than the 1995 film, where they were both brainless henchmen of Shang Tsung. These two
Yeah.
have always had an intricate, bombastic relationship, and I love seeing it come to the big screen.
今俺はスコーピオンだ。
Yes, Yes, you are. Their fight continues with frozen blood daggers and harpoons on chains as Cole tries desperately to thaw out his family. Oh shit, and Sub-Zero uses Ice Clone? That's another classic move. Fuck yeah, I love this movie. And boy does Joe Taslim have a flair for the dramatic. Taslim, who plays Sub-Zero, was previously in The Raid.
What'd I tell you?
Nakad Brooks watched it before shooting their fight scene, which
Hell
he
yeah.
said might have been a mistake.
I gotta fight that dude?
Taslim moved so fast, he had to slow things down for the camera, a result of his 15 years on the Indonesian judo team. This was a treat for stunt
Judoka.
coordinator Kyle Gardner and fight choreographer Chan Griffin.
You need to do the things that you always wanted to do in a movie and everyone tells you you can't do.
Griffin was excited to work with performers who could handle anything he threw at them, even when they were just shy of 60, like Scorpion's actor Hiroyuki Sanada. Some, like Sonya's actor Jessica McNamee, tried to do a lot of the fighting and stunts themselves. Others, like Josh Lawson, not so much.
My stunt double looks so much like me that I'm the first to go, step in, buddy. You look good. You look good. You look better than me, so go for it.
The holy grail was this final fight, though. Taslim and Louis Kahn were so experienced they didn't use doubles, which Taslim said makes for better chemistry on screen.
Yeah.
When you fight someone and then they double the other guy, it feels like you fight two different persons.
It comes down to a 2-on-1 that sees the Chinese warrior start to lose ground. He rips off his blue armor, giving himself the all-black appearance of his
Noob
future
Saibot.
persona, Noob Saibot. Stay tuned for that evil motherfucker in any sequels. Bihan also drops the Sub-Zero mask as he makes his
Bihan,
final
but
stand
okay.
for the Lin Kuei, but he's no match for 2 generations of Hanzos who get him to his knees. If you're gonna dress like a noob, you about to get treated like one, dude. Scorpion uses his newfound Hellfire powers to light Sub-Zero ablaze with a giant blast from his mouth flamethrower. Just like that, Subby's turned into an ashen corpse. Now Scorpion has been freed, just like Cole's family, and he tells his descendant to please try to keep the bloodline going. Okay, back to
Don't
hell.
fuck my
Raiden and
shit
the
up.
others show
I'm be
up.
here if you need me.
You know, maybe they could have done 15 minutes ago. Shang Tsung is still lurking around, but I told you, we ain't getting the tourney in this film. And don't worry about all your faves that got killed.
Death is only another portal.
With that, there's hope that we'll get more Kano and Goro in future films. Raiden sends Shang Tsung back to Outworld with a lightning blast and tells his champion
How you supposed to win against people you can't kill?
for that tournament. It'll happen, he swears. The movie ends with Cole headed to Hollywood to make contact with their top recruit, an action star by the name of Johnny Cage, hopefully played by The Miz. How many kills did I just count with a K?
Unless
Let's
The
find
Miz
out.
can do
Hey, little
actual
Raiden,
martial arts.
It'll help get into the
No.
numbers? Oh, perfect. That guy can send anyone anywhere. I counted 31 kills in Mortal Kombat 2021. Only 3 of them were of women, while the 28 male victims included a lot of unnamed ninjas. Some frozen chunks in that pie chart though, so I don't think it's fit for consumption. With a runtime of 110 minutes, that left us with a kill on average about every 3.5 minutes. Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill is tough, because there were a lot of awesome ones. But I'll give it to Natara. I think it's the kill most people will remember walking away from this thing. Dual Machete for
No.
famous kill is gonna
Sub-Zero.
have to go to any of the nameless ninjas seen dead, having been killed off screen. Everything else was dope. And that's it. Mortal Kombat came out in 2021 and was the first movie I saw in theaters since Invisible Man in February 2020. That could also play into why I like it so
No,
much.
it was just
Though
good.
I'm hoping
The
for a
martial arts
sequel,
scenes
nothing's
and the
been confirmed
choreography,
yet, so
and the fight,
I'll keep crossing my
yeah,
fingers.
the fights.
In the meantime, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next kill count.
Hi kids, do you like violence? Wanna see a killer clown do a whole bunch of gory shit? Then sit the fuck down and listen up. Stitches the Clown is ready for showtime.
Kombat Show.
And he's got a bunch of tricks that'll blow your fucking mind.
Well,
This
damn.
budget Irish flick features a killer clown played by a British comedian.
Goodbye, funny bones.
The deaths are unreal and disgusting. And Stitches evokes classic horror comedies like Evil Dead, meaning it's not afraid to get silly. And it's not afraid to get bloody.
My man just got his head kicked clean off.
It's the best of both worlds, with a bunch of Irish accents mixed in.
Oh, what's funny is that you left it up, yeah.
So basically, this movie is fun as fucking hell to watch.
Everybody happy?
Take my word and check it out this weekend for yourself. And on Sunday, in just 2 days, you fucks.
You're an asshole, you big
Well,
dumb
today's
clown.
Sunday,
Watch the
so
kill
that means that's out. So I'll probably do that with my daughter, Princess Sway. I'm just gonna carry the fucking
on the pictured streaming platforms. Demi always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for watching this kill count on Mortal Kombat! I want to thank some patrons like Connor Dixon, Tony J. Dietz, and Drake. Just a reminder, if you didn't see last week's video, some big news on the kill count schedule. Not only will Zorn be covering the Tremor series from January to April, but after this month, I will not be returning to host a kill count until summer 2022. Check out that video for more information, and thanks for understanding. Be good people.
So anyway, if you ain't figured it out, I'm a big action fan, and you just, yeah, the sequence, the fight scenes in there, it especially that last one, I was loving. When I watched the movie myself, I was loving it. I'm sad they couldn't show as much in there, but then again, this is a kill count, not like an action star count, so you gotta roll with it. But that's my reaction to it. It was a couple, especially I didn't even know about Stitches, so I probably, after I'm done with this video, I'm gonna watch it, because as of filming this today, it's Sunday, so it's out today. I was gonna do this one with my daughter, Princess Way, but she's off with her mom. Couldn't be helped. We'll do the next one. But as I said, that's my reaction to it. I'm King Sway, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.